They want me to talk about it because I'm a plumber. £2,000 a month in London. Does it sound like it can be done? Can a plumber live on £2,000 a month? I'm going to give you my thoughts at the end. My name is Mr. London Plumber. Make sure you like, share and subscribe when you come to this channel because you're going to get the real talk. I've done the social experiment already. I've done my research. All I just need to do is deliver it in my way, but you're still not subscribed. Why? It's free. It's always free. So anytime you come to my channel, just press subscribe. It's not costing you anything. I don't send you any emails. I don't say hi, join this group, do that, do that. There's nothing but good content, yeah? So make sure you stick around, like, share and subscribe. Let's get on with the video. So I found a property on Foxtons because that's where I would go if I was looking for a rental. The only places I could find was in Watford. Unfortunately, Watford is not in London. Foxton, you do need to sort that out because that doesn't make any sense, you know? But let's stick with the facts. I found one for £1,000 a month. And that has to be like where you have to stop, right? At £1,000 a month. That's a studio and it's got a bathroom. So you're not sharing with anyone or anything like that. We're going off of you living on your own because that's what most tradespeople, whether they be male or female, would want, right? They don't want to share a house. They want a house to be, anyway. Right. So how much are you spending on travel, do you say? Well, the average person in London, commuting back and forward, is spending about £150, yeah, on the lower end, and on the medium end, they're going to be spending 200. This is all backed up by research. This is why you got to subscribe, yeah? The high end, we're talking £250, right? And then you got to think about like groceries for your mouth, really, because we all need to eat, right? So eating cost, or groceries they call it, is going to be £200 on the low end, £300 on the medium end, and £400 on the high end. It's all starting to add up. But you say, what about if you want to go out and eat? Because we all do. You might want to go somewhere to have a little bite to eat. You might want to, go somewhere within your budget. So how much are people spending? That works out to be about £250 on the low end, £350 on the medium, £500 on the high end, right? So how much money have you got left? If you was on the low end, yeah, you'd spent just travel, eating, going out, £600 and then £1,000 on your rent. So you've got 400 left. 400 to buy some boxers and some socks and some t-shirts for work. If we keep going up the scale, yeah, you've spent, what, that's 6, 7. You spent 700 on the medium plus the £1,000. And then on the high end, you would have spent way over your budget. You don't need me to add that up. You can see you can't afford that, innit? There's no money for you to do anything else, not even buy some chewing gum or anything like that. What it seems like you would have to do is go for a house share, basically. And house share where it would be more in your budget range, which some people probably have to do because the house share seems like it's going to be, £300 cheaper. You're not going to be so comfortable. You're just going to have a room. You might have the basics, but I guess a lot of people just work with the basics because it's all you have available at the present time. You're at work for 40 hours a week. You just need to put your head down somewhere, but you need to keep it constant. But I don't know if that could be deflating to people because there is no answer out. You're eating the same things, tuna. You're eating the same things, beans. It's making you fart. You're looking at people in the canteen. They're eating brioche bread. You don't even know what that is. What is that, mate? You don't know what it is. You get a bit of taste of tartar sauce and your tongue's going crazy because you never tasted that before. Yeah? Yeah? Spicy ketchup, barbecue ketchup. You didn't even know them things existed because you was too busy on your plain Jane situation. But hey, look, I know that we have to budget while we're in London. I've had to budget it a few times within my own life, but it stopped me from doing so many things what I plan to do because I go to work to live. And I know that some people they work to live. That's easy for me to say. I go to work to live, and some people live, they work so they can live, basically. I said it wrong again. But you get what I mean. You know what I mean. It's difficult, very difficult. How do people get over it? Budget even tighter. When you're looking at getting yourself your own property or your own renting a studio yourself, you might have to say no. We have to go for a share. A share might be £500. A share might be, you might want to look for somewhere with a share from like 5 to £7.50 max. It might be stinking in there. It might smell like foot. People might be farting. There might be 8 people in and out of the house. But you've got to kind of deal with that. Because it's the circumstances what we're all in now. Inflation's so high, you might have to start asking yourself, is OnlyFans is it an issue? Do I care if people see my bum? Do I care if people want to sniff my feet? Or buy my socks? It might be a thing for you. I'm just saying, as long as you're not hurting other people, I'm sure the rest of the construction industry wouldn't be that bothered, because a lot of the time they're robbing Peter to pay Paul. You lot might not know about that, but that's a black thing people say. You rob Peter to pay Paul. Or an old school thing. Let me not just say black thing, because I know some people be like, oh, why you got to say that? I just did. It's my channel. I say what I want. But when I look at it, I know that it can be depressing for others who are in that situation, because it's hard to see a light trying to come out of that situation. And it can be stressful. You could be tense, you know. You might not want to tell your partner that you can't afford this or afford that. But they said, oh, you're working. Why can't we go this place or that place? Ain't in the budget. The way my bank account's set up, I've got to move the money, then I've got to ask for some money. It's just not, it's not nice. It's not nice. I've had to live on a budget before, and before, when I made a video about living on a budget, which is on my channel, I actually can't remember what I named it, but it's over here. And I was making a little bit more than £2,000, obviously, but it was a struggle for me. From someone who earns 4s and little bits of 5s, probably earn a little bit more than that, but I don't want to talk about it online. And if I wasn't set up and comfortable in life, yeah, I would have been more uptight about it and stressed out. I knew it wasn't something which lasts forever. And I know that when I find better work, my life will be more comfortable. It's only a little point of being uncomfortable. But it's learning how to be uncomfortable and not taking it to heart and not being kind of upset and pissed off with other people because of my own actions or because of what I've got myself into. So when I've been in that situation, I looked like a madman. I looked all the time for just jobs. All the time. Anytime I'm chilling, having my lunch, I got on my phone looking for jobs. I mean, I was on it all the time. Because I was looking for that next opportunity. And don't get me wrong, there are a lot of opportunities out there, but there are people who are squeezing the trade, squeezing the money out of things. I actually tried to look for plumbers' jobs, which were £500 a day on Reed, on Indeed, and what other thing do I go on? Total Jobs. There ain't fucking any jobs, put it that way. for £500 for plumbers. No matter if you've got 20 years experience, 40 years experience, a senior position, they're not online. They're not online. You know, so don't beat yourself up about it, you know. And when you start to understand the average wage is just short of, it might be something like 28. That's a mid-range. Like 2.8, 2.8, less than a 3.5. Fucking hard to live. Telling you that from now. It's hard to live on that wage. You haven't even got a car in this equation. Your feet are feeling like Mo Farah. You feel like you're running a race everywhere. You're doing take everywhere. You're doing up steps, 20,000 steps. You're going to have thunder fires. Do you get it? Because you're walking everywhere. But you always want to save a certain amount of money to be able to have something aside. What I've done in my life, yeah, when I've made good money, I've got excited. I went out and bought stuff. I went out and done frivolous stuff, which, you know, I think to myself, I don't need to spend £150 on a jam collection from Fortnum Masons, even though they were lovely and they have this champagne jam, which is impeccable. Yeah? You don't need it. I've tried it. It was all right. It was fucking worth it. But you don't need it, guys. Like, you could buy a jam from M&S for like £2.50 and you could enjoy it. You know, with a little croissant, spread it back like that. You know? But I get that we want and we see, and it's about the experience sometimes. Whether it be trying something new or saying to ourselves, we've worked so hard, why don't we deserve something like that? I felt like that loads of times within this industry. I've been working my bollocks off. When's it going to be my turn? And I've made a follow-up video which is about property and being able to afford a property after 20 years of being a plumber. Whether things go right or wrong for you, things have ups and downs, innit? And I think sometimes as you grow older, you have to accept the things what have happened because you're in control. Remember, you're the adult. Your parents are an adult as well, but you make the decisions what you make for yourself. If you choose to watch podcasts or watch TikTok when you're at home and you're not trying to better yourself in some type of way, whether that be re-educating yourself or actually looking for a part-time job on top of that. There was a few times when I first started plumbing, I thought, let me get a part-time job. But when I first started plumbing as an apprentice, I was getting like £200 a week, right? I used to work in JD Sports. I actually met John and Dave. And when I saw John and Dave as the most ordinary people, they look like Ant and Dec's little brother. If you ever seen them, just Google John and Dave, the people that own JD Sports. There might be some photos on there. I don't Google them, but they just look like ordinary guys. They ain't wearing designer. There's no Rolex. None of that. I'm not trying to say do that because humble beginnings and humble lifestyle or that, oh, play myself down shit. It's not for everybody. You know, some of us work hard and we want to show off our fruits of our labour, whether that be the way we dress, the things we eat, having a nice home, having £1,000 bed. A bed what cost £1,000 is not a lot. That's quite cheap. My mattress cost £1,000. The bed costs 800, so that's £1,800 just on the bed. Just so I could get a good night's sleep. Things are difficult nowadays, man. Like, we can all beat ourselves up and tell ourselves we should be here, we should be there, but that's not the case. And inflation, even though I've never even spoke about inflation or give the fuck about it before, it's fucking killing us. Fucking in your pocket every minute. I was even thinking about taking my Apple Pay off my phone because sometimes when I be out, I don't know, I think I'm semi-pro. I think I'm playing in Europa or something and I get that dough. But I think it's more about understanding credit and understanding money, right? Money is never taught to us, and we learn money, or we hear about money situations through other people, but don't indulge too much because we feel like we don't know enough about it to talk about it. Do you get it? Like, what I know I should do is pay. I've got Monzo Flex, right? I don't know if some of you lot got Monzo, but I have. Pay all my travel with Monzo Flex. Wait until I get paid again and again, then pay off my Flex. And that way my money is working and filtering through. Yes, I'm still spending it. Yes, you still got a thing, but you're building up your credit. You're doing other things in the background, which is helping you. You know, the things what you need to spend the money on, which is the rent. The rent money can come out. The travel money can come out your Flex. Do you get it? But sometimes we just tap and we go and we just don't think about it. It's happened to me, honestly. I think it is doable for plumbers to do that, but I just feel that you'll be tight up, man. Yeah? And I've been tight up at them times. And sometimes I've kind of like made the best content when I'm tight up because I'm really living what I'm talking about. And when you're not living what you're talking about, it's hard for people to take you seriously. People wouldn't think that I was getting 28 a month or whatever I was getting at that time, because I have a really nice car. I have a really nice set. I have things I could have sold, but I'm not going to do that because I knew that this time is temporarily. It's not forever, you know. That's why they say save your money. You save your money for yourself, for not just for like rainy days, but just for fucking life. Life will hit you like a ton of bricks. I have a car, could get a ticket, could get a puncture. Things can happen. You need to have that safety net. No safety net equals you falling down. And when sometimes you fall down, you might not be able to get up. You know, if I'm up and I'm okay and I've got a friend who's struggling, ask my friend if you need some help. Let me know what you think. Make sure you like, share and subscribe. I've got to go, it might be a business call.